Hey team, we're at the 2023 Insure New Zealand Motorcycle Show. There's a huge variety of bikes here. There's new, there's old, there's interesting, there's unique. There is literally a bit of everything. People have had time on their hands over the last few years, and some guys have worked incredibly hard on building some very different bikes. So let's go check them out.
Yeah, so this is the 2023 New Zealand Motorcycle Show. I've been helping out with this for close to 10 years since it started as a part of Papakura Rotary Club. So this is a charity event. All of the funds raised for this go back into the community, which really makes it a unique event in that respect, and a fantastic thing to be a part of, to be able to get involved with your passion and give back to the local community, which is really special. One thing that the judges have said this year is it's probably been the stiffest competition to date. The quality of bikes this year are through the roof. We've got a very, very special Benelli 6-cylinder here, first production 6-cylinder ever. So that took out New Zealand Classic Bike of the Year. We've got both Britons at the show, which is always really cool. Lots to look at, lots of highlights, you can't name them all.
Yeah, so it's called an Ingrich, which is the name of our company, which is a design, engineering, CNC machining company. Our bike here is the result of a 20-year project. So the engine is a 1200cc parallel twin, and it has a unique tungsten balance system. So it's got perfect primary and secondary balance. Quite unique. It was a system proposed by Bert Hopwood way back in the Norton Triumph era. We've taken that idea and actually managed to engineer it into the bike. All hand built. The only parts we borrowed is a swing arm from a Triumph Speed Triple and the foam seats unit. Everything else, the frame, the chassis, the fuel tank, the bodywork, is all handmade. I used to race motorbikes, and when I finished there was a big gap. I wanted to be involved still, and this filled the gap. John Appel, the other team member, had a really good concept, and partly inspired by John Britton. I remember seeing talking to him at a racetrack once and seeing how he managed to get a team and build the bike, and that sort of set us off on this journey. If we'd realised it was such a big project, you probably wouldn't have started.
Well, this came to be after the Beach Hop 2011. Came away from there quite inspired and thought, I want something that fits the genre of the whangamata beach hop. So drew the picture on the way home, and then my partner Neil Sheeran made it come to be. So I'm very fortunate. The engine's just right to push it along. It's a little 883 Sportster Harley Davidson. It's had a little bit of work on it to give it a bit more power, of course. The stake bed back was Macrocarpa, that was built by my dad, Neil Jackson from Matamata. I'm very proud of that, and Dad passed away unfortunately just this December gone, so it's extra special to me. I just love those wheels. They're the first thing I bought in. Oh, there's just so much about it. It's just a really good ride, and it's got character.
It's a 750 Benelli SCI. It's the very first 6-cylinder production motorcycle that was ever built. So it's 1977. They built, I believe, 3,200 of them. And it's a very rare bike here in New Zealand. And I came across it 2 years ago. It was in the UK in a classic bike dealer, and I took a shine to it and decided I wanted it. 3 months later, it arrived on the boat. So it was a complete restoration. It was taken apart pretty well to every last nut, bolt and washer. There wasn't too much mechanical work because it was in really good condition. It's not a round town bike, it's an open road bike, and it's just a lovely handling bike. It rides a lot better than what I thought for a 6-cylinder bike when I first purchased it. I'm quite impressed with it actually.
I'd had a motorcycle years ago when I was a young fella and had to get rid of it when I had a young family. And just recently I'd been thinking maybe wouldn't mind a small bike. And my wife says, no way you're getting a bike at your age, you silly old bugger. I thought, oh well, if I can't buy one, I'll build one. So I spent a lot of time on the internet looking at different types of designs for bikes and stuff, and I saw a similar shape and I thought, why couldn't I build that out of timber? And here it is. It's all pine, tannalised plywood and solid pine. It's a Listapetta single-cylinder diesel, old type of English. They've been building them since Christ was a cowboy. Very powerful, torquey motor. A nice sound, that's what I was looking for. I like the old thumpers, as they call them. done a couple of speed tests on the road, and yeah, there's still room for improvement there, but I've had it up to 90 k's an hour on my trailer.
We call it the Zio de Rog, and that's Uncle Rog in Italian, because Uncle Rog is my nickname. I've been building these bikes for about 4 years now, but only part-time. It's a 250 Kawasaki engine and wiring. It was started with special K packets and a couple of red wines, and then cut out the special K packets, put them around the engine, and then plan the suspension. And the idea came from the 2009 Formula One show at Te Papa, where I saw a route with the front fairings off it, and that gave me the idea of turning the wheels around 90 degree and putting a motor in the middle. No changing in the wheelbase lengthwise, because a normal bike, when you put the brakes on and the forks, it dips on the forks and everything goes through the headstock, whereas this bike, it's got two straight lines, one from the front wheel to the seat and one from the rear wheel to the handlebars. So you basically steer the bike through the back wheel with the handlebars. Even though the steering turns in the front, you're steering it through the rear wheel. We're doing a run of the 4 of the Ducati, and then we've got a run of Harley Davidsons to do for America, and then a run of 4 390 KTMs for Japan. So we're underway. All I've got to do is leave my work, which is I'm a digger driver, and then start building motorbikes.
In 1979, my wife's grandmother won some money, and so she decided to buy her 2 boys brand new motorbikes. Mark being my father-in-law and Guy his brother. Mark's is the black one, Guy's is the blue one. Mark basically parked it up and it sat in the back of the shed gathering dust until he passed away just before COVID. During COVID, I went out to Guy's place, dropped some groceries off. Talking to him, found out that the other bike actually existed, which I didn't know beforehand. So I suggested he pass it on to us. So the 2 bikes were together, and he thought that was a cool idea. So Bridget didn't know about this, my wife, but I got the black one going and picked the blue one up and rocked in home one day with both bikes in the back of the van and said, hey Bridget, check out this. And then she decided she'd put a little bit of handiwork into the black bike and did a few things just to make it look a bit cooler. And we've kept the blue bike pretty much as we got it.
How does it go? What is it like to ride?
Noisy, smoky, and not too fast.
Yeah, it's a Series 20 Excelsior. Back at the start, there was Excelsior, Indian and Harley. They were the big 3. This is a Series 20, something pretty special. It was my father's bike. He bought it around when I was born. It's taken about 25 years to restore, and this is it here. Sort of started out as an emotional build, and then life and kids and family and everything got in the way, and it sort of got parked up for probably 20 odd years. And a couple of years ago a friend of mine retired, and he helped finish it off. So this is your advance and retard. When you move that backwards and forwards, that alters your timing. Your modern engine does that without you knowing it. Here's your gear lever, first, second and third. The brake also has a hill start assist. If you look back here, you can see that when you put your clutch in, it puts the brake on. Here's your oil pump. If you're riding it hard and it thinks it needs more oil, you give it a couple of more oil pumps. There is a mechanical pump that does do it. You've got your oil, your petrol, the throttle, and here's your manual hill start assist. If you're on a hill and you get a sore leg, you can just wind that round and that holds the brake on until you're ready to take off.
Oh my God. I think the only thing I know how to use is the throttle.
I've ridden it once, but I wanted to sort of save it for the show here, and now the show's over, we'll get it out and do some miles on it.
Well, it has been a lot of fun checking out some of these bikes. Definitely different to what I was expecting. There are so many motorcycles here that I've never seen before, and surprisingly, I really liked the wooden one. It was something different. So we'll probably see you again next year.